Okay, pre-algebra lesson 1.7. In this lesson, we're estimating sums and differences. So estimating is simply rounding, right? Giving an approximate sum or difference. Okay, you're using estimating when you don't need an exact value. Okay, so commonly you'll see this in newspapers, magazines, books, right? There are approximately this many people, okay? They're appropriate for when you don't need an exact value, okay? So the key to estimating is rounding. And rounding whole numbers depends on the place value you are rounding to. So 2 general steps. The first is just that. Identify the place to which you are rounding. Right? Do we want the nearest whole number, the nearest, well, they are whole numbers. So the nearest tens, the nearest hundreds, the nearest thousands. Okay? Once you have done that, then you're going to look to the digit to its right. Of the place you are rounding. Okay? If the digit is 5 or greater, you add 1 to the digit that you're rounding. So it means you're rounding up. And then everything to the right is a 0. If it is less than 5, you round down, so you don't change the digit you're rounding. But make everything to the right a 0. Okay? So for example, I have the number 7,386. Okay, to the nearest 1,000, what that means is 7 is in your thousands place. So you look to the right of that and it's a 3. 3 is less than 5. So you leave the digit that you're rounding, make everything else to the right of it a 0, and you get 7,000. Okay? The nearest 100, you look to the digit in the hundreds place, which is a 3. So you know you have a 7,000. Okay, you have to figure out what the 3 goes to. Look to the right, it's an 8. That is greater than 5. So I'm going to add 1 to the 3 to make it a 4. Everything after it makes a 0. And lastly, we're going to round the same number to the nearest 10. So again, the numbers before the digit in the tens place stay. So 8 is in the tens place. So it's 7,300. We have to decide what comes next. Look to the right of the 8 is a 6. It is greater than 5. So add 1 to the 8 to make it 9. Everything after the 8 becomes a 0. So we have 7,390. Okay? So then, when you want to use rounding to estimate or sum or difference, the first thing you want to do is you have to round the numbers you are adding or subtracting. Okay, so that's the first step. Round the numbers to the same place value. With a sum or difference, you're not going to round one number to the nearest 100 and one number to the nearest 1,000. Okay, you're going to round them both to the same place value first, and then add or subtract the rounded numbers. That's the key. A lot of times people, when you're estimating a sum or difference, will find the sum or difference and then they will round it. Well, then you're finding the exact value. So round first, then add or subtract if you're estimating. Okay, so if y equals 8,900, try this again. Y equals 8,692 plus 3,928. We want to estimate by rounding to the nearest hundred. Okay, so estimating, we're going to take our equal sign and we're going to make it squiggly equals. That means about, okay? Then we're going to round each of these two numbers to the nearest hundred. So the 6 is in the hundreds place. We get 8,000. Look to the right, it's a 9. So the 6 gets increased by 1. So we get 8,700. Plus, round 3,928 to the nearest hundred. 9 is in the hundreds place, so it's 3,000. Looking to the right, it's a 2. So that's less than 5, so the 9 stays. So we get 3,900. Then add these two numbers. So y is about 12,600. Round first, then add or subtract. Okay? All right. One last thing you could do with estimation is something called front-end estimation. Okay, so this works from the front of the number down, okay? So again, 2 steps. The first thing is you're going to add or subtract whatever your operation is to get the first digit as an initial estimate. Okay, that's your initial estimate. Then you're going to adjust it according to the compatible numbers. Left in the numbers you're adding or subtracting. Okay, so we have x is equal to 7,814 minus 4,305. Okay, using front end estimation, you're going to do x is about, then just the initial digits. So 7,000 minus 4,000. You're not rounding, you're simply looking at those digits. That's approximately 3,000. This is our initial. Okay, then we have to adjust it. Then we're looking at what's left. So the adjustment is the second digit. That's about 800 and the 300. Okay, that's about 500. So then we adjust it because this is 800 more than we started with and 300 more than we started with. So we're adjusting it by that extra 500. So we're going to say x is approximately 3,500 using front end estimation. It's kind of like rounding to the nearest 100, except you're working with the numbers themselves before you round. Okay? So that is finding a sum or a difference by using estimation.